Welcome to another Alpha Magnus review. Today we've got a special one. I kind of have to do this specifically. This is the Princess of Power She-Ra figure from Mattel Creations. It comes with Swiftwind. So, two things. I tried to find my previous versions of this. I don't know where the hell I put them. I'm not hunting for them anymore. I've got a serious issue with where I have things stored. So they shipped it in this box, which that's annoying. This is the outer box at least, but it's got a big shipping label on there with my address. So we're not gonna put that on the internet to make it that easy for you. She does have pretty decent inner box anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. I was kind of surprised. I pre-ordered the Barbie She-Ra because I'm just keeping that in the box because I think that's the funniest thing in the world to have that. But she came in this. It looks like this. I'm not taking this out or nothing, but that's the 40-year She-Ra. Shiny. Certifies that your blah 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 was created through collaborative efforts. Blah 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 blah. Cool. Whatever that means. So, got the zoom back out. Sorry if you see a bunch of other junk around. Hey, look at that combat armor. I'm a mess. We're just gonna put it out there. I'm a human mess. So for the honor of Grayskull, celebrate the 40th anniversary of She-Ra, Princess of Power, with the Masters of the Universe Origins cartoon collection She-Ra and Swiftwind, featuring the iconic hero of Etheria and her noble steed as retro-style figures. It is a little elaborate thing. I'm wondering if this was supposed to be like an STCC or something and just didn't come out in time, because it's kind of elaborate for just a Mattel Creations. So you can pull this out. Comes with a pretty nice thing, which is funny because there's a inner lining that doesn't come out, which I thought would. Nope. I do like this. This is pretty cool art. Looks like we might be able to just pull that out. Cool. And then there's cool art here. So there's art on both sides. Little bummer because probably would. I don't want to have to buy a second one of these to get that, but yeah. Pretty nice. Let's take a look at that art. Get She-Ra and Swiftwind out of the way. It is attached to the base at the bottom. And then we've got the sorceress bestowing the power. All that. And then we've got She-Ra here. You know what? I don't really need another sorceress one. I'm probably gonna take this out and frame this because this is fucking amazing. That is beautiful. Destroying some horde fighters there. I like it. I am impressed with that. Let's just right off the bat say that. That is pretty cool. So let's get She-Ra out of this and Swiftwind. I'm really hoping that this was done for that reason to of course make Swiftwind. But I'm really hoping we get some of the other recolors, maybe with some of the other princesses that we're not gonna quite see in the main line, or variants that we wouldn't see. I have no need for, like, I don't know, Bubble Pop She-Ra or whatever the hell weird names they've come up with. I think that was one of them actually. Trying to remember from the Mondo panel, because I didn't have any She-Ra toys growing up. I had zero. I was all He-Man all the way, and that's partly because, you know, when the guy who's at that time my mom was dating probably wouldn't have been like, let's get him some girl toys. That seems straight. Not that I would have cared, because I loved Wonder Woman. Like, I don't know what that guy was. I don't know what men in general think. Don't buy them no toys and no girls. Well, I want them to like muscle men. Good job, bro. You just made a game, man. Whatever. Let's get this all out. Oh, her sword's still stuck in there, and I don't want to mess that up. Come on. It's, of course, stuck in there with one of those twist tie things, so... Not twist tie, like a rubber. So, like, if you try to pull it, you could possibly damage it. May just, you know, I'm just cutting this from the other side. I don't care. I'm probably never putting this back in the box. I might actually throw that box out. I know that sounds like sacrilege, but I don't care. I don't think they're going to be releasing a standard version of this at all, because they already did a standard version of She-Ra here. So let's drop us down and zoom us in a bit. So She-Ra, this is pretty much the same figure. I don't think the other one has a cloth cape, so that's nice. Figure's pretty much exactly the same. I can't tell any difference between the gold or anything. But this one does have... Actually, was this molded on? I don't think this was molded on the other one. I think it was a fake piece that went over it for the Tila mold. Now I'm going to have to go find that. This is attached to there. This might be a different mold. It might be a slightly different mold, actually. Her hair is a translucent yellow, and her weapons are translucent blue. So, that. And same with her shield here. Isn't her sword her shield, and canonically she can't use both together? I can't remember. It's been a minute since I've watched that show. I don't like that, so you can't really... I don't like the way this holds, because that's not where a shield would go. So that's a little bit annoying, but whatever. Let's take a look at Swiftwind. This is the real reason I paid for this, was for the horse. Because this is amazing. One of the big things I had problems with the Netflix show is that we never got a Swiftwind figure, really. I mean, I know that it existed. There was one, but they were like Barbies. And I get it. That's who this is made for. But girls play with action figures too, guys. I'm questioning I'm going to have to look at like horses, because I could have sworn that this was a little different anatomy there. There. No, nothing on the hooves. So maybe I am going to have to... I thought about it. I was like, maybe I'll make a... stands for these guys, but there's no holes there. This is very weird rubber. Weird rubber. And then this, of course, is their stirrups. This clamps on. And it looks like you could probably do... Oh, you can't because of this. I can't remember what her horse's regular name is before it's Swiftwind. It's, as I said, not a huge fan of the show. I'd kind of liked He-Man way better. I watched the show for the Horde. Is that bad? I think it's bad. Let's pop these on. Yeah, that is annoying that they didn't come with an extra head. Let's make sure that there isn't one in here. Oh, that's a bummer. Because then you'd want to buy two. Because you'd be able to have both versions of the horse too. Dum da dum dum dum. It's the same thing with Cringer and Battle Cat, but this is actually the same size horse. So you could have had both horses if you'd have just given us an extra head. Honestly, if they'd have just given us an extra head, I probably would have bought 6 of these so that I can make other horses from other things. Because this is a pretty decent size horse. Like, this is 5-inch scale, but that's pretty big. That's do I still have that out? Yeah, let me go grab another horse. But let's put these on. Put these on first. So I don't know which way they're supposed to go, but I prefer it like this so that I don't see the the hole there. I try to minimize how much toy parts you see, because you're already getting this like gear shift thing here. Minimize it where you can, right? This is kind of tight. Not liking that, so I'm gonna have to probably heat that up. Yeah, that's way too tight. All right, I'm gonna go grab another figure. Luckily, it's right by here, so not too bad. I don't have a lot of horses. I do have one of the ones that counts. So this is the Mythic Legions for the Four Horsemen. Headless Horseman. Let's say horse a couple more times in here. And look at this. This horse, first off, is huge. And they are pretty darn good. Let's get this out of here. I don't want to mess that up. Alright, Swiftwind, you're not too swift here. I do like that. Wow! This is one of my biggest complaints, is that most horse figures, you can't do that. And that's the thing that horses do. So they go, and like back you off. Get out of here. This freaking Ichabod. You're driving me crazy here. Or whatever the hell your name is. I actually don't remember what the horseman's name is. Like, this horse is huge to begin with. And as I said, you can't pull these arms apart. So it drives me crazy because you barely get any poses. But that's pretty darn close. Like, for this, I think this was like $129, and this was like $60. So, yeah, I'm liking that. So I am going to say that Mythic Legions figure is my least favorite Mythic Legions figure that I've ever purchased. And I've got a lot of like version 1 bodies of like the exclusives. That figure is, I'm still mad that I bought it. I'm mad that it cost so much. I could have bought like 5 other figures for the price of that. And it just bugs me to this day. The fact that like, it was so hyped up. So many people hyped it up. And then I got it. I got the re-release version. I'm like, this is it? The hell? So we're going to put this on low heat, because I don't want to mess this up. About 5-10 seconds on each side. Okay. Now we're going to try. Oh yeah, that goes in way easier. This side's still giving me some problems on this one, but there we go. We got it. So there's Swiftwind. In general, it is no Mondo Swiftwind by any means. So if you purchase that one, this is not going to be a replacement for that horse. But it's a pretty good one. I'm going to say that of all the horse figures I've seen purchased, like McFarlane's got one, this is probably the most articulated I've ever seen a horse figure. You can even do the legs. Let's turn that around. The only bummer is it doesn't come with a second head. And from what it looks like, it's just the ball joint on there. So they totally could have given us a second head, guys. Oh, that is such a stupid thing. I would have bought a bunch of these if this had a second normal head. Here, we can make him sitting down. Shoot, I might have bought one of these made of donkey from Shrek. Like, look at this. Comes down, twists, turns. This is amazing. Oh, the fact that, and the other thing is They didn't give us one with an open mouth either, and I think an open mouth would have been real smart. So I'm going to see if I can find maybe some other separate pony heads that I can use for this. Maybe I will get some more. It depends, of course, if they're still available on Mattel Creations as well. That is, of course, the kicker. Will this guy be available beyond a week? You know, some of the Mattel stuff's been sticking around a long time, and some of it has not. So, like, Cobra Khan sold out immediately, but everybody else in that wave is readily available everywhere. So it's very strange. I love this. This is great. That could fold a little better. But it stands fairly well. I think I've got Bo and Shadow Weaver coming too. I know some people don't like that Shadow Weaver. She's just going to stick in the back. But I'm rounding out these figures is really nice. And the cartoon collection is the perfect place to put them versus trying to do like the origin styled figures that they had previously. Like, because I don't think anyone... And no, I don't think any guys, let's just put it that way. There are no guys that are like, man, I really want these She-Ra figures to look like the old dolls, because they did not look like the cartoon at all. I think there's more of a change between the She-Ra figures and the show than there is the He-Man figures in the show. So, let's see if I can get her in the stirrups there. I do love this. I love the horse. The horse is great. And she didn't stay in there for a damn. So let's try this. In the box, there were a couple of these, which may have just disappeared. There's one. These little... well, I don't know where the other one went. There was at least one more. Dummy pieces. Yeah, I don't think I'm keeping this box. It's not really doing anything for me. That artwork though is superior. So what we're gonna do here is slide this in here. Try to give her a leg a little bit of a twist. So we're gonna attach this part down here to this. Give that a twist. Give that a twist. There. I like to do this and use the existing rubber bands that come with it to do this kind of stuff, because it really locks them in there. And these are meant to be around the toy, so typically they don't have too many problems with scuffing or scraping. There. So now she's locked in. Now I can manipulate it so that it looks better. There. That's not too bad. Beautiful. All right, I love it. I love this figure. I was not expecting to like this much. Beautiful. Chef's kiss. My only complaint is that you did not include a separate head without this ornament on there. That would have been the chef's kiss. I would have bought 2 today. So hey, if you want to add that later, we could talk. Mattel, you've been summoned to my thread here. Hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, please like, subscribe, comment. Till next time, I'm Alpha Magnus. These are toys. So, I'm not sure if I'm going to just put this in a second video or just whatever. Realized I was a complete moron when it came to this. This is Swiftwind with the wings and all that. I, unfortunately, am an idiot, and when I took this out, this must have fell out, because this is the Swiftwind part. So you still have this with Spirit. I didn't realize that. It's unfortunate, because I would have liked just a regular horse head on here. Maybe someone will do a 3D print of just a regular horse head or some other versions of it, because this is actually a really great mold. I'm just going to put it out there. I might buy more of these if I can, just to have this highly articulated horse mold. Like, it's pretty great. But yes, this part goes on here. So I don't know if I'm just going to edit this on the end of that video or whatever, because we're going to do this. Now, I do have this She-Ra thing here, which is a bit unfortunate that I went that route, because now I have to undo some of it. But what I'm hoping is I can just slide her out the back and keep that stuff intact and not have to do too much here, because this, maybe I'll slide it at the front. Oh, I am going to have to redo this whole thing. That's fine. Anything for the video, right? This doesn't come off. The head actually does come off, so that is good. We're just going to have to redo this foot contraption that I had here. It's not too terrible. But man, I had it on there good. She was not coming off on accident. There we go. And there. So then this, in theory, should be able to come off of here. But man, there is a ton of junk that comes in there. So you could buy 2 and get a Spirit along with that. I did look up the names because I forgot that the horse had a different name. I mean, it's like Battle Cat and Cringer. I just forgot that was a thing. That, and I also am more acquainted with the He-Man, the Netflix She-Ra show, and he was not Spirit for long. He was Horsey, I think, in that, actually. So there you go. That is the Sans Armor Spirit. It exists. It is a thing you can purchase. Now here's the thing. Do I care enough to purchase this separately so that when I get an Adora, I'm sure they're either going to do an Adora 2-pack with this or a separate Adora. Now this is what's called a toy gamble. Do I buy this, an additional one, for the likelihood that they will do that and just give us an Adora, which I think is on one of the lists, or are they going to give us an Adora in this part separately? That is the kicker. I did not buy a Despara figure, so say what you will of that. So I don't have that version of Adora Force Captain. I honestly don't know if I'll ever buy that one. I'm hitting end of line with a lot of these figures, and this one is easily one of them. Like, I kind of want the She-Ra figures. I don't really care about side stories and other goofy things, because guess what? I like making those myself more than I like the ones that they've come up with. So, whatever. Let's put this jazz back on here. Goes on top. It's a little weird too. I guess this is so you can ride her as spirit or whatever. Whatever. This is my life. They say whatever. All right. Let's. There. As I realized that I locked these in underneath. Luckily, it's just rubberized plastic here, so it comes off. It is kind of weird that there's nowhere to put that too, but I guess it does keep it in place. All right. Fairly ingenious way to do that so that you can have both. I was criticizing them for something they actually did. Good job. Let's click this on here. Try to do this a little bit easier this time. So we're going to slide that around there. Come on. Twist that around, come up. Twist that around. Here. And there you go. So, figure out where her shield went, but that's it. There's the Swiftwind She-Ra that they actually did deliver. It's almost a little annoying because now it's like, do I want to just buy a second one for the eventual Adora, or do I even care? Maybe I just keep this one and I can just swap it out if I decide to. That's probably what I'll do because that's the cheapest route. Hope you enjoyed this review. Like, subscribe, comment. You know the drill. Alpha Magnus out.